Welcome to lesson 4.1 on division facts and extensions. Our objective for this lesson is to review multiplication and division facts and apply basic facts to division with one-digit divisors. So our question is, why is it necessary to master basic multiplication and division facts? I talk about this a lot, about mastering our basic facts and moving on each week with our basic facts. And this is why, because multiplication and division go hand in hand. And it's such a great skill to learn and have so that you can always use it. So remember, keep practicing those multiplication facts. Get good at them. All right, let's get started. Our mental math are word problems today, and they're actually division word problems. So let's see what we have. Remember, use your thinking cap and your thinking skills. Critical thinking is really important. So, word problems, okay, and division is where we're started, or where we're going with this. So it says Anna took 45 playing cards and arranged them in 9 even piles. How many playing cards did Anna put in each pile? So here's where it's nice to know what 9 times what. This is where it's nice to know what 9 times what equals 45, and that helps you with the division. So how many piles, or how many playing cards did Anna put in each pile? And if I know my division facts, I know that 9 times 5 is 45, or 9 into 45 would be 5. So that's how they go back and forth. Eliza bought 81 strawberries. She divided them equally into 9 bowls. How many strawberries did Eliza put in each bowl? So again, how many 9s go into 81, or 9 times what is 81? And if I know my math facts, which I do, I would plug in 9. 9 times 9 is 81. Billy wants to buy 48 candles. If there are 8 candles in each box, how many boxes of candles should Billy buy? Again, how many 8s in 48? Or 8 times what is 48? And I hope you said 6 times 8. And we're going to quit there. It's a good thing to work on these, but we're going to stop there. I would like you to do this one on your own for tomorrow and bring it in. Venetia bakes 24 brownies and arranges them equally on 6 plates to give to 6 neighbors. How many brownies does each neighbor receive? Please bring in your answer labeled tomorrow. Blank brownies. Perfect. And let's get going on to our next part of our lesson. So I want you to think about reviewing our division vocabulary. So we have 3 divided by 1 equals 3. So what do those numbers each mean? What does the first 3 and the 1 represent? And what does our answer, what is our answer called in a division problem? So let's look at our division vocab. It's a good review, a good way for us to review it, and to talk about which number is which. And so it's a vocabulary video.
I love pink. Pink's my favorite.
And we are going to skip our ad. Sorry.
Let's begin dividing whole numbers. And as we get started with this, just like we've done with so many of the others, we're going to start with vocabulary. So we need to understand that whenever we divide things, when we read this division problem, we read it as 10 divided by 5 equals 2. Well, this 10, or the first item, has a very special name, that is dividend. Then, what you are dividing by is the divisor. And then your answer is called the quotient. It is very important to understand, what part each one plays, because this is the first way, pretty much, that we ever learned division. It was written in this format. But then, as we got up and we started working larger and larger division problems, we started writing it in this form. It's like housetop sort of format. This is the second way, actually, to write a division problem. But our items still have the exact same terminology. The number underneath that little housetop is still called the dividend. The number on the outside, or what you're dividing by, is still called the divisor. And your answer there is still called the quotient. Now, there's actually a third way to write division problems, and that is as a fraction. So here we have this division problem, which that's all really that a fraction is. It's just a kind of a compact way of writing a division problem. This literally says 10 divided by 5 equals 2. And our numbers are still, even though they're in a different position, they still have the exact same terminology. This 10 is still called the dividend. The 5 is still called the divisor. Oops, didn't spell that so nicely there. And our 2 is still called our quotient. So no matter what form they're in, you still need to know exactly what the proper terminology is for each position. All right, let's practice writing division problems in all three ways so that we know we can switch things around. Okay, here we have a problem that they've already given us. It's already worked out. This says 36 divided by 9 is 4. Well, if we were to write that out the very first way we ever saw division problems, we would write it out as 36 divided by 9 equals 4. Now, if we write it as in sort of fractional form, we would need to write it as 36 divided by 9 equals 4. Now, I realize that sounds probably a little silly as you first get into it, but what you really want to understand is I've seen so many times where students are given something that looks like this in a fractional form, and they'll turn it around and put the wrong number in the house top, which will completely throw off your division. So you do need to be able to move seamlessly between the three different versions.
Okay, so that was a good video, and I liked it, and that's why I showed it to you, because I wanted you to be able to listen to somebody and tell you about the vocabulary, because it's important. So we're going to talk about renaming numbers, and our little question mark here says we're going to be using the name collection box to create names for the number 18 using multiples of the number we roll on the dice. So if I shake my dice here, I might get a 3. Okay, well, I know 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So again, I could use, so multiples, so what I could do is I could still use down here, I could write 3 times 6 equals 18. I could do 18 divided by 3 equals 6. I could do 18 divided by 6 equals 3. And I could also do 6 times 3 equals 18. And so we're renaming numbers just simply by using multiplication and division when we're shaking a number. So it's a good way to rename it. And as our little question mark said, we're going to be using the name collection box to create names for the number 18. Using multiples of the number we roll on the dice. Well, I use the multiple of 3 for this problem. So let's keep moving so we can get moving on. So using a mental division strategy. So this is part of our journal, but it says fact knowledge can help you find how many times a one-digit number will divide any large number. Divide 56 by 7 mentally. So it says think, how many 7s in 56? Or think, which is what I said before, 7 times what number equals 56? Since 7 times 8 equals 56, there must also be 8 7s in 56. So 56 divided by 7 equals 8. And that's how they go hand in hand. And that's why it's so important to learn those facts well. Knowing basic facts helps you break the larger numbers into 2 or more friendly numbers. Numbers that are easy to divide by the one-digit number. Divide 96 by 3 mentally. Break 96 into friendly numbers. Here are ways to do that, or two ways. 90 and 6, because 90 is a nice even number, ends in a 0, and 6, I know that. So how many 3's in 90? And I know 3 times 3 is 9, and then my 0, so 30. And how many 3's in 6? There are 2. So my total would be 30 plus 2, or 32. I could also do 60 and 36. And I could say how many 3's in 60? And that would be 20. And how many 3's in 36? And that would be 12. So I would add 20 plus 12 and get 32. So what are friendly numbers in division? Friendly numbers are just simply numbers that you can break down and make your multiplication or division problem easier for you. So let's talk about friendly numbers.
Today we're going to work on some division strategies. The first division strategy we're going to work on is called friendly number strategy. Basically, the idea is to take a problem like 57 divided by 3 and to break the number down into more friendly numbers that we can do mentally. The goal here is to not have to do traditional division on the side. So we take a number like 57, and we always take the divisor first. Take that 3, and in my head I think, what is 3 times 10? 3 times 10 is 30, so my first friendly part of 57 is going to be 30. Then I think, what plus 30 gives me 57? What piece is missing? So it's 30 plus 27. So now I have a number that is the same as 57, but both numbers now are a lot easier to work with because my 3 times tables, I do know up to these numbers. So on this side, I think, what is 30 divided by 3? And I already know it's 10 because that's how I got it originally. I break down my plus sign to make sure I don't forget that I'm adding it back together. And then I divide the 27 by 3 as well. Here I get 9. I take my 10 plus 9, add it back together, 19. It's a quick and easy way to get an answer for a division problem that's usually 2 digits divided by 1 digit. We can even do it for 3 digits divided by 1 digit as well. But the idea here is to be able to do this work in our heads eventually. Right now we're just putting it down so that we can get used to the process. Here's another problem we can use the friendly strategy, division strategy for, friendly number division strategy. 99 divided by 7. Now this is a situation where I can kind of tell that my 7 may not go equally into the 99, but we can still use the same strategy. So the first thing we think of is, what is 7 times 10? That gives me my first friendly number, which would be 7. Then I think, what plus 70 gives me 99? The missing number would be 29. Over here, 70 divided by 7 gives us the 10. We already knew that because we started with that. And then the 29 divided by 7, I think how many 7s will go into 29 without going over? 4. That gives me 28, so that would be a remainder of 1. Now I put my numbers back together, 10 plus 4, 14. I don't add the remainder, I simply put it back on the end. So 14 remainder 1 is my answer. So a difficult division problem can be done pretty quickly and possibly even mentally using this friendly number strategy.
Again, another great way. It's so good for you to hear other people talking about strategies instead of just me sometimes, because you listen to me every day. So friendly numbers, again, an easy way to put division problems together so they don't look, they don't look so ugly, as I call them. Okay? Complete the following statements. List the friendly parts that you use. Okay, so again, in this one, I like what he said, because how many 3's over here? So if I have 42 and 3, I know 3, oops, it's moving here. I got to get my marker back on, sorry. I know that 3 times 10 equals 30, right? Okay. And then I'm left with what? Well, I'm left with 12 because 30 plus 12 equals. So then if I do like his strategy and I do 30 divided by 3, I know that's 10 because I just did it up above. So I have 10. And if I do 12 divided by 3, I know, because I know my 3's, that's 4. So if I do 10 plus 4, I get 14 for an answer. Now, did I do that correctly? We can double check it on our calculator, or we can do 3 into, long division, into 42. And I know 3 goes in there one time, so that's 3 I subtract, I get 1 and 2 and 3 times 4 is 12. So I know I did it right. So we're going to work some more unfriendly numbers in class. But I'd like you to try number 20 or 22. I'd like you to try number 2 and number 4. And now if you remember, number 4 you should have seen. So bring in number 2 and number 4 only. Okay? And our last piece here is just a game, and it says name that number, and I want to play that a little quick version with you so you can play this game. And I know my video is already getting long, but just try to play for a minute.
Let's play Name That Number. Your goal is to use basic math facts to name target numbers. Let's see how many numbers you can name. At the beginning of each round, you get 6 cards. This card is the target number. You need to add or subtract 2 of the 5 cards on your mat to name the target number.
Okay.
Do you see 2 numbers that will work? Let's try these. All you have to do is add them to get your target number, 10. You can switch cards if you like by dragging a new card on top of one of your cards. "18 minus 8 also names 10. When you're finished, click OK to enter your answer. For each round, you need to find only one number combination that names the target number. If your answer is correct, you get 2 points for that round. If you win all 5 rounds, you get 10 points. Okay, are you ready? Let's play. Name the target number.
So we could do a couple different combinations. We could do 8 and 5. 8 minus 5 would equal 3, or we could do 6 minus 5 equals 3. So another good way to play this game. I just wanted to show you this game because it's an everyday math game, and it's a good way to practice. You can do multiplication and that kind of stuff too. So let's go back to our video here. I want to pause my video, and it doesn't want to work here, and I don't know why I'm having so many issues. So it just keeps doing, oh, not good. So anyways, hopefully you have understanding division a little bit more, and it's starting to make sense with you, and I hope that's the case. So I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to pause my, I'd like to pause my thing, but it's not wanting to let me. There we go. So great job. And I'm sorry my video got a little long. Just remember you just had about 2 or 3 things I think you had to bring in, maybe 3, maybe 4 at the most. Our objective again was to review multiplication and division facts and apply basic facts to division and 1-digit divisors. I hope you did all right. Have a great night.